I can't believe it, but I finally got a box to do an unboxing video right now. Now, hold on. Let's settle down. Let's everybody just settle down here. You know, I talked about in my previous videos about how nobody botched the transition from CGC to PSA worse than I have. I take full I own that. I own my mistakes. I take full responsibility. That was all me on that. This is not a box of PSA slabs. Still waiting for my first PSA shipment. But when I kind of realized that I had totally screwed up the transition to PSA, I started throwing some submissions over to CGC just so we would have some videos in the pipeline here. But I don't want to say this is a one-off, but the unboxing videos are not back yet to a weekly basis. We're still going to be, I'm going to guess, probably end of the year, early next year, we'll be back to every single Monday. We've got another unboxing video. But for now, we got an unboxing video. You know the rules. I know exactly what these issues are, but I do not know what the grades are, so you get my reaction live on this video. We're in this together, me and you. It's me and you. We're in this together, man. I have no idea what these grades are. Could be amazing. Could have a bunch of 9.8s. Actually, a couple have a realistic shot at getting a 9.8. So let's get all this packing out of the way. And, no, gotta get these facing the right direction. So these are CGC slabs. These are all modern. And I'm still waiting for PSA. Man, I got a ton of submissions sitting at PSA right now. But they ain't ready yet. So we'll do some CGC for right now. Here's what I've got. Great lineup for you in today's show. Let's start off. One of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. A lot of people hate him. Man had a ton of personal demons and issues, but he was an incredible quarterback in the NFL. It's his first cover. We're going to take a look at that bad boy. Number 2, I got a Michael Jordan Sports Illustrated cover. Always a good unboxing video when we can get some Jordans. Number 3, I may lose some subscribers over this piece that I've got submitted and that you're going to see. You're going to hate it. You're absolutely going to hate it. It's a politician. And you'll probably hate it. But we'll talk about it, and I'll explain the reasons why I got that piece graded. I've got, fourth, a special commemorative issue. Not a big fan of those. The market's not a big fan of those. I still don't know why. I'd be speculating, but the collector's edition, the special edition issues tend to not be anywhere near as collectible as the weekly editions, but I really like this one, and so we're going to take a look at this collector's edition that I've got, and then we're going to wrap it up with a piece I didn't even know existed until very recently. A publication I've never gotten graded before, never even thought of before, didn't even know that existed. But when I saw this, I had to buy it, and I had to get it graded for so many reasons. So a pop culture piece will wrap us up, and it's going to be incredible. Okay, hoping for some 9.8s. Going to warm up that 9.8, but I'm already worked up. We're hoping for some 9.8s. Love to hit that 9.8 button, do a dance party. Let's get started with our first one. Oh, okay. That's pretty darn good. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take a 9.4 of Brett Favre's very first Sports Illustrated cover appearance. Came out on January 15th, 1996. There are 2 at 9.8. I did own one of those, sold it not too long ago, actually, in the last year. There are 5 at 9.6. There are now 16 at 9.4. Projected this at 9.4, so nailed it. Favre had a lot of scandals in his career, personal life, really. I mean, he was allegedly addicted to opioids, although I think he came out and admitted that. Allegedly, stole maybe a couple $1 million from Louisiana Athletic Fund, maybe, who knows. Sure, allegedly sent pictures of his junk to a female journalist. He was addicted to opioids, allegedly. The guy struggled in a lot of things personally. He didn't struggle on the football field. He balled out on the football field. This guy had a cannon for an arm. The classic nickname, the gunslinger, because he was just chucking crap up. And sometimes it was a touchdown, and sometimes it went to a defensive player, and it was an interception. By the way, the very first reception that Brett Favre threw in his NFL career, the very first reception, was to himself. Not a joke. Let's look at that clip right here.
They're going to give Brett Favre a chance.
Going to complete, if he throws, his first NFL completion, and it's to himself. Knocked down by Ray Seals at the 10.
Watch Harry Sidney come through. Ray Seals does a good job getting his hands up, bats it down. This is what's going to make Brett Favre a good player. See, he never stopped.
Crazy play. Love that good bit of trivia there on one of the greatest of all time, Brett Favre. You know, his stats, Super Bowl champ, 3 times MVP, still holds the NFL record for the longest touchdown pass, 99 yards, and most consecutive starts at 321. The dude started 321 NFL games. No wonder he got, allegedly, addicted to opioids. The man beat the crap out of his body. He was probably shoving Percocet down his throat just to, stay in the game half the time. An incredible player on the field. He was obviously John Madden's all-time favorite player. Let's look at some Brett Favre highlights. Great clips there. I love that. 9.4, not bad. Brett Favre, first Sports Illustrated cover. Off and running. Not bad. 9.4. That was my projection. That's pretty good. I'll take that. All right. Whew. Next up, let's see what we got. Yeah, not awful, not terrible. But I will take it. This is the Michael Jordan Chicago Fire issue. There are 15 copies at 9.8. I do own one of those. Actually, I may own 2 or 3 of those, actually, at 9.8. There are 15 at 9.6, 17 at 9.4, projected 9.2. Yeah, it's got a couple of permanent creases in the corners that didn't come out in pressing, and those can be a grade killer if they're bad enough for you. So the photo for this cover shot was taken on May 21st, 1996. It was game 2 of the Eastern Conference semifinals versus Orlando. If you remember, 1995, the year before this, Jordan comes out of retirement at the end of the season. The Bulls make the playoffs. They face Orlando in the playoffs in 1995. They lose to Orlando. By the way, that was the last playoff series Michael Jordan ever lost in a Chicago Bulls uniform, 1995 to the Orlando Magic. Jordan comes out of retirement and ends up losing to the Magic. Then we go into the 1996 season, the incredible season, 72 wins, win their 4th NBA title. They lost to Orlando the year before. And you know who remembers that? Michael Jordan remembers that. And he always takes it personally.
It became personal with me. I knew that Jerry Krause loved Dan Marley. And just because Krause liked him was enough for me. You think he's a great defensive player? Okay, fine. I'm going to show you that he's not. Clyde was a threat. I'm not saying he wasn't a threat. But me being compared to him, I took offense to that. Yeah, Brian Russell? When I was playing baseball, Utah was in town to play the Bulls. They're practicing at the facility. I go over to say hello to John and Carl. And this kid, Brian Russell, comes up to me and said, "Man, why you quit? Why you quit? Man, you knew I could guard your ass. I couldn't, you had to quit." I said, "Carl, you need to talk to this dude, man." Nah, he's just a young rookie. But from that point on, he's been on my list. Carl Malone get MVP. I'm not saying he wasn't deserving of it. All I'm saying is that fueled the fire in me and said, okay, you think he's the MVP? Okay, fine, no problem.
During the finals, we go out to dinner one night. George Karl's over on the other side, having dinner. Hey, there's George Karl over there. And George Karl does not come over and speak to him.
He walked right past me. Now look at my, really? Oh, so that's how you're gonna play it. That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that. And it became personal with me.
He said that LeBradford Smith, walking out of the gym, had said, "Nice game, Mike." And you knew that this wasn't going to go down well.
He's concentrating almost solely on LeBradford.
He took such umbrage at a guy saying, "Nice game, Mike," that he torched and humiliated him.
Oh, I hated him. And yeah, he carries even to this day. They made it personal.
Yeah, you tell him, MJ. I took that personally. So when they faced Orlando the very next year, and this was a stacked Orlando team, Shaq, Penny Hardaway, great players on this team. What did the Bulls do? Swept them 4 straight games. In this game, game 2, Jordan had 35 points, absolutely dominated them. Not bad, 9.0. It's always good. It's always good when you get a Michael Jordan Sports Illustrated an unboxing video, even if it pops a 9.0. We'll take that. Okay. Up next. Whew. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh, I know what this issue is. Okay. Yeah, I know what this issue is, so give me a minute here. I need to prepare in advance. Okay. Okay. I can tell what this issue is by the back. Oh, that's a terrible grade. That's a terrible grade. It is fair. There's some issues along the spine there. 9.2. Oh, come on. All right. Poor labeling by CGC. Poor labeling. You know, CGC, you got a brand new competitor to your business in PSA. They just showed up. And you know what? One of the things that PSA is doing a really good job of is their slab label information. Now, you know, like, for example, if it's subscription, they put subscription. If it's newsstand, they put newsstand. They're putting on variants, first covers, second covers, all sorts of great slab label notes. I made the request on this one. You didn't do it. I will give you half credit because you did acknowledge the variant. Zohran Mamdani. I told you were going to hate it. This is his very first cover on Time magazine. This 9.2 is the top pop. There's a couple of others graded out there. I had projected this at 9.6, so I'm totally bummed by this. Just came out on September 8th, 2025. This is a 1 of 2 variant. Nothing special on the other cover that week. It was something to do about AI that Time had on the cover this week. You know my rule. We're not going to talk politics, but we are going to talk about the collectability of politicians. And Zohran Mamdani just won the election to become mayor of New York. Just last week, he was in the Oval Office meeting with Donald Trump. It was a freaking love fest. Weird. Most politicians aren't collectible, or just not that collectible. And so think about it. Joe Biden, not really that collectible. Kamala Harris, not really collectible. Both Bush presidents, HW and W, not all that collectible. Trump, definitely collectible. Easily the most collectible modern president, maybe the most collectible president in history. Zohran Mamdani, yeah, the he's a cult of personality. He's got rabid, passionate fans. Just like Trump. Half the people think he's out of his mind, crazy, and should be in jail. The other half, love him and would vote for him for anything in the world. But you've got what's the commonalities. Both have incredible star power for whatever reason. They both have incredible star power, and people love them. And so Zohran Mamdani, the mayor-elect in New York City, he's a political rock star, and that's going to lead to collectability. You can hate their politics, but you also should be aware of where they stand in the marketplace from a collectability standpoint. Let's be adults here. And that's the way I've been with Trump. I haven't shied away from Trump collectibles. I'm not shying away from Zohran Mamdani collectibles. That's the business I'm in, collectibles. I hate all politicians. They're all a bunch of liars, crooks, and cheats. But I can acknowledge their place in the marketplace, how the market views them in terms of collectability. So let's be adults and let's take a look at that and examine it from that aspect. The 9.2 kind of stinks. Was hoping for a lot better than that, but it's going to be interesting to watch his career, and it's going to be interesting to watch his collectibles and see what happens to those as he takes office after the first of the year here. Interesting. 9.2 and CGC. Shame on you for not giving the proper labeling on that, because that is his first time magazine cover. I followed the way CGC has said, this is how you request a slab label. I followed those procedures to a T, did it all. You still didn't put the slab label on there. All right, moving on. Again, can tell from the back, you're like, what the heck is this? That's weird. That's not a normal back cover sort of thing. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Interesting. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's awful. Yeah, but not a big surprise where they killed me on this. I'll get into that in a minute. I don't care about the 5.0 because this is a great piece here. So this is Chicago Tribune TV Weekly. Yes, Chicago Tribune TV Week. This is from January 14th, 1990. So, you know, way back when. God, I sound like such an old man. Back in my day, we would get newspapers delivered to our house. And inside of those newspapers, once a week, they'd put a little magazine like this in here that was essentially a local TV guide. So if you lived in Chicago and you bought the Chicago Tribune, you know, probably on Sundays, this was in there, and it was like your TV guide for the week, and you could see what shows were going to be on. This is before we had, like, channel guides. Can't believe those times ever existed, but they did, and it was called 1990. This is a great piece. Let's go through the particulars on this. There's a 9.0, there's an 8.5, projected this at 7.0, and I totally blew the projection, and it's always difficult. So, a couple of reasons. This is printed on newsprint paper. The whole thing, the interior pages, the cover, all of it. Newsprint paper is very low quality. I mean, you can just see it and feel it. It's just very low quality paper. So I've never gotten a piece graded that was 100% newspaper paper. They've all before, if the interior had newspaper paper, at least the cover was kind of a glossy magazine style. Not on this one. So I wasn't quite sure how that was going to be evaluated by graders. This one also had a lot of staining, and you can see that it's got some fading there. That should be pink. I wasn't quite sure how bad they were going to ding me on that. Turns out they crushed me on it. Hence that 5.0. So there are a lot of reasons why you get an item graded. Collectability, value, maybe you just want it for your personal collection, you're speculating that it'll go up in the future, but on this one, it was 100% about the visuals. This is the quintessential Simpsons image, just a visually beautiful piece. This came out less than 1 month after the Simpsons TV show debuted on Fox. I mean, this thing is going to display, even at 5.0, this thing is going to display so friggin' well. I love the way this issue looks, and let's take a look at some of the funniest moments from Simpsons over the years.
Get ready for 2 weeks at the happiest place on earth, Tijuana!
Wheel him out quietly. It's best the children don't see him. Oh, just get it out of here. Not into the kindergarten.
Wait a minute. There's something bothering me about this place. I know! This lesbian bar doesn't have a fire exit! Enjoy your death trap, ladies!
What was her problem?
Now, why do you have to wash that awful taste out of my mouth?
Mountain Dew or crab juice?
Ugh! Oh, jeez! I'll take a crab juice. This year, give her English muffins. Whatever you say, Mr. Billboard! Best in the West. That rhymes. Clown college. You can't eat that. Gime? What's a gime? Oh, a gime.
Gee, I don't know what you've got planned for tonight, Homer, but count me out. The plant called and said if you don't come in tomorrow, don't bother coming in Monday.
Woohoo! A 4-day weekend.
I like your statement. When life takes a cheap shot at you, you stand your ground. Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins.
Homer Simpson, smiling polite.
Such a great show. My favorite Simpsons bit ever we saw in that clip. We've got Mountain Dew and crab juice. Give me the crab juice. Just a brilliantly written, succinct, there's no extra words. It's just a tight joke. I love that one. Simpsons on Chicago Tribune TV Week from 1990. Terrible 5.0. Don't care because it looks beautiful. All right, last one. This is interesting because this was the one that had the best shot at 9.8. Fingers crossed on this one for 9.8. Okay. 9.8, 9.8, 9.8, 9.8. There it is. There it is. Oh, yeah. That's what I like to see. This whole box, completely redeemed. Brett Favre, 9.4. Pretty good. Jordan, 9.0. Zohran Mamdani, 9.2. 5.0 on The Simpsons. We save it with the Ozzy Osbourne Newsweek tribute commemorative issue at a beautiful 9.8. This is awesome. Okay, obviously sad. Ozzy passed away. It happened months ago, so we're all over it now, but, you know, kind of a gut punch, even though it wasn't that big of a surprise. This came out in August 2025. There are 2 copies graded now at 9.8. There's a 9.6, there's a 9.2. Projected this at 9.6. That's only because I don't project 9.8s anymore, but I think I'm going to have to go back to projecting 9.8s. I would have projected this at a 9.8, so we'll call it that. What a ridiculous career Ozzy Osbourne had. The man was the Prince of Darkness, the lead singer of Black Sabbath, a band that like churches and parents groups tried to get like banned from the radio and remove their albums and CDs in store. That's how much people thought he was the devil. He was singing about the devil, biting the heads off of bats at concert, doing all kinds of crazy drugs and out of his mind all the time. And then later, his family gets a TV show on MTV, and all of a sudden, he's like the sweet old grandpa. You know, stumbling around, can't figure out the TV remote, and he's just the goofy dad, like from a freaking sitcom. What a ridiculous and crazy career and journey that Ozzy Osbourne had. Obviously, he was the lead singer of Black Sabbath, had an incredibly successful solo career. Created Ozfest, which was this massive touring festival concert show that lasted forever and ever and ever. And then the Osbournes TV show popped up in 2002, and it was just a massive cultural hit. Again, if you're too young and you don't remember when the Osbournes was on MTV, they had like 6 months there where they were the biggest thing in the world. Nobody missed the show. We all watched it, and it was ridiculous and awesome. And I love that shot of Ozzy there. Probably gave it away with the shot of him on the back. I love the difference there. This screams Ozzy from the late... Man, he looks young. That's got to be from... Man, I wonder when that photo was taken. I'm going to guess that's the early 70s. And then we've got one here that's clearly in the 2000s and later is his career. I don't know if everybody was like this, but for me, Ozzy Osbourne was a big part of like my growing up. I love Black Sabbath. I loved his solo stuff. Your boy was rocking a mullet back in the day, you know, driving around in my crappy Mustang, listening to Ozzy Osbourne. I was a freaking mess, but he was awesome. And loved everything about it. What a great way to wrap up this box. 9.8 totally redeems this entire box. I love it when we can pop a 9.8 on the last one and take this box all the way from the toilet straight to the top. What a great box. If you're interested in my comic and magazine cleaning and pressing service, drop a comment here on YouTube or find me on social media and shoot me a DM. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and Facebook groups. If you're not on our Facebook group yet, what are you even doing? And some people give me, oh, I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. Yeah, like it's some badge of honor. Create a freaking Facebook account and join the group. We got almost 1,400 people in that group. It is the single best graded magazine community that exists. And I get it. If you're not on Facebook, I don't use Facebook. The only thing I use Facebook for is this Facebook group. That's it. And you can do the same thing. So you're watching this on your phone right now. Just go over, open the Facebook app, and join the group. Just search CGC PSA Sports Illustrated, and we'll let you in. And it's a ton of fun. So find me on those social media platforms. I'll give you all the info on my cleaning and pressing service. I love the fact that you're still watching these videos all these years later. We are going to get back on track with unboxings on a weekly basis, but for now it's a hodgepodge. As always, you're the best. Thanks, man.